So,
What's up, guys?
Hi.
What's up, guys?
Hi, guys. Episode 10. This is going to be a little different this time. First off, we got merch. We got people viewing it. We got a lot of things happening with this podcast, but we're going to do something different for episode 10. We're going to try to squeeze in as much detail and things as possible within 30 minutes because we got recent news that not everybody, but a good majority have been wanting us to do 30-minute podcasts. So I'm for it. I'm fine with that. Javon and I are totally good with it. We were gonna talk about how class went today. We just came back from our class, and I'm gonna have Javon. I'm gonna have you answer. How was it for you? And then I'll answer.
So, I guess I'll mention a little bit about it to give it better context. Just some sparring drills, some forms, some things of that nature, some self-defense.
Mm-hmm.
I would say it was a little more fatiguing than I wish it was.
Oh my God. Honestly, yeah.
Not because it's supposed to be, obviously, right? That's the point. But I thought I wouldn't have gotten that fatigued. I kind of expected a little more out of myself.
Makes sense.
But we have to have a starting point. So at least I know where I'm at now. So overall it was fatiguing. Great cardio. Definitely sweat out probably a pound or so.
Yeah. Oh my God, I feel like I lost 3 pounds.
Yeah, and it's like when you work out and you go to the point of failure. It's like overall, I think I achieved that.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
Do you any hard part during like class where you felt like, oh no?
So when we started, I'm gonna say this as in general because I know there's people watching. They're like, well, "What are you talking about?" So we did like this, basically a heavy bag drill. You could use Wave Masters too, but I chose the heavy bag. And we're just doing like combos with our hands. So we're like doing uppercuts and hooks and all these different combinations. And you just wail on the pad as hard as you can,
that was
basically,
so fun.
right?
Yeah.
That was great until I was using the heavy bag.
Yeah, I was watching you.
Like,
you were hitting that thing hard.
It was like concrete, right? So the good thing, thank God for my gloves, because without the gloves, I probably
you got some nice gloves, dude. Are those Vipers?
Those are. They're Century. I forgot the exact ones, but they're Century ones.
Ugh, it's nice quality. They're colorful too.
Yeah. I got them on sale.
How much were they?
I would have gotten. Those were $13.
What?
They're on sale. They're like
my chicken nugget. What?
They're normally like 60 or something like that. They had like a 70% off sale, so I bought them.
That's wild. What?
Yeah, you check out their website. I'm not a spokesperson at all, but I mean, unless Century wants to chime in, by all means,
Century.
I love you guys.
Century.
But yeah, no. Century has like they usually have like these really big clearance deals, and I usually check it every so often because there's like books on there. I have some pretty good books. Sometimes they sell gloves, sometimes some uniforms, like the sparring silky uniforms.
Yeah.
You could buy like the top and the bottoms and stuff like that. Because actually right now I have 3 of those sparring uniforms that don't fit me. That have just been sitting in my room for like the past few months.
They don't fit you, or are they too small or too big?
They're gigantic.
Oh God.
I read the size chart wrong. Not that they had like much to choose from because it was clearance.
Yeah.
But it's not like I could return it and get a different size because that's all they had for that.
Yeah.
They're nice too. They're very nice. There's quarter sleeves and 3/4 sleeves. So it's like a little bit past the elbow, and then a regular short sleeve version.
Okay.
And I got them cheap. I think I got them for like $8 a pop.
That's wild. What the hell? That's so good.
And that's why I bought them, because I said, hey, if they don't fit me, that's okay. Problem is I can't find someone that they fit, because at this point I'll just be like, here, just have them.
Yeah.
You need to be like 6'4" to fit them.
Dude, that's ridiculous. I'm out.
They're like a size 7.
That's so big for no reason. My hand isn't even.
And I'm a 5.
I think
I'm a 5 only because of tallness, not because of width.
the only time we are not here, and I want to say like, here, touch my hand. We can like see if your hand might actually be bigger. I think your hand is bigger than mine.
I mean, I kind of hope so.
Yeah, I mean, like they say, the taller the person, the bigger the hand. So
I mean, yeah, it's usually how it goes. I mean, like,
I think the only thing that's more universal is like you could be so tall, but your legs can be so skinny. I feel like that's the universal thing. Like things from the waist down aren't as gigantic as like the upper body.
for a tall person,
Yeah, for a tall person, like I feel like a lot of upper body is like larger than with their feet. Like I feel like their feet would be trunks if they were like tall, but for some reason,
true. Yeah, you're right, because there's a lot of people, and I'm not going to use the word short, but I'm just going to say shorter than me, right?
Yeah.
'Cause I'm 6 feet tall. So let's just say you're like, I don't know, even like 5'7", right? Between that and the person who's like 6'2", like that range, you're probably going to have the same shoe sizes,
that's what I'm saying. Like
but your hands are going to be totally different sizes.
what's your shoe size?
10 and a half.
Yeah, I'm a 10. So it's just like it's
So like that's not much of a difference,
No.
but we have what, like a few, more than a few inches
yeah, exactly.
height wise and stuff, you know? So I realized that that is kind of weird, right?
Yeah, like have you
It's
ever
like
thought
we're-
about that?
we plateau. Yeah, I never did, but good point, you know?
It's just like I look at all these guys that are taller than me, and all of them are tall. I'm 5'5". Let's just throw it out there, I'm a short dude. But like I look at everyone else and I see them like, you guys got wide shoulders. You're tall. You guys are like football players. And then it slims down, or you know, it doesn't. And then it goes to the waist, and all of the legs look the same, like from the waist down. It looks universally accurate. Like I've seen people that are like super heavy, especially in the karate world, where they're heavy set and their legs are skinny. I'm like, man, how the hell are you holding yourself together like that? Like that's crazy. Like I don't even like that. I would assume with all that weight on top, you would be able to hold it. You like gain some muscle on your legs, but like
Yeah.
some people got like twig legs and they got a cupcake body. So
Yeah.
it's crazy. And then, you know what's even crazier? People that are that heavy but can kick and show off that balance, that are like completely unexpected. They jump high, they do jumping crescent kicks. Like they're the stocky guys, you know? Like those like people that look big, you don't expect them to move a lot, and then suddenly they're like super noodly. I've fought people like that. They're scary.
I've seen when I was first getting into tricking, like when tricking was first coming out, like what year was that? Probably like 20.
I think that was
10,
like 2000.
2011?
Yeah, it was like 2011 is when tricking started really coming out.
Yeah, that's when they started terming it. Like it was tricking, free running, and parkour, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when I first started tricking, I was like learning like the butterfly kick, V twists, you know, all those kicks, that like the basic ones.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I was looking up videos on YouTube because that's pretty much the only place I could have learned unless I went to a gymnastics school, which I didn't.
Yeah.
And there was a few videos where I'm like, okay, there's this heavier set dude, and when I mean heavier set, I'm talking about like the you know, pretty
Yeah.
heavy set,
Heavy
right?
set.
We're not talking about like stocky. We're talking about like heavy.
Okay,
right?
okay.
And I'm like, okay, this is an instructional video. It's like, well, let me see you do a B twist, right? Because we all know, like, you don't know what a B twist is. You know, it's like the butterfly twist, and then you do like a 180,
Yeah.
and then you land.
Aerial cartwheel,
Right.
but just more flat.
Well, yeah, it's just like a butterfly kick, but then do like a spin.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
Like spin
about.
your body
Yeah.
a full 360 and then land.
Your left leg will come around to land, not your right foot.
Correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're doing a little woo, like
A little
yeah.
woo!
And I was like, okay. And then I was like, this guy's actually gonna do this. Let's see. And the guy actually did it. Like he did it so fucking good.
Wait, was
Sorry.
it this guy that was like larger, heavy set? Was he wearing a blue shirt? Was he in like a field or something?
Yes.
I know which one you're talking about.
I think we saw this. We probably both watched the same video, but he did a B twist, and I was like, "Wow, he did it right."
But like he
Like,
says something
he-
before the video, and then he does it, and then he goes woo or something like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he made it look so easy, and then
Yeah.
I did it, and I almost face planted. And I'm over here like this little, like I'm not skinny or twiggish, but like I was like, okay, I got this. You know, I work out. And I'm lean. I'm like, I could do this. I got strong legs, and I do it, and I can land it. I'm like, it's really the technique and knowing your body. It's
Yeah.
really not so much the weight. If you know how to control it, then God bless you, you know?
That's how it was like tonight in class. Like there was some motion when I was trying to do that hook punch. Like for class for me was, dude, there was a point where I felt I did not want to give up. I was like, we're not going there. We're not going there because my lungs felt like, and I was winded for the first time in a long time. I was winded and I was like trying to play the part. I'm like, nope, breathe. Because I felt like my lungs were clogged, bro. I felt like my lungs were clogged. Like,
were they burning?
They weren't burning, but when I was breathing in, it felt like there was a closure in my throat. Like there was a bunch of gunk and saliva in there. So when I was breathing in, I felt like the air was hitting that gunk and it was just like suppressing it. So then like I went to the bathroom and did a haktoy into the sink, or haktua into the sink. I said haktoy, and I went right into the sink and then I felt much better. But it's just like, yo, what the hell? Like, I don't know if that's just like old man phlegm coming, but like when we were doing the hook punches, I was so uncoordinated. I was like, what the freak is going on? Like we were stepping right and then we would do bob and weave and hook. And it was just, I don't know if the rope was too low or the way we held it, but it was very difficult. And I'm like thinking, holy crap, this is a lot of repetition.
You know, I found it difficult too because I was like the second person to do it. And I'm like, okay, you know, this is easy. I just feel like it was a little backwards.
Yep.
It was opposite of what I would normally do. So like, what was it? It was bob, weave, and then punch across.
Yeah.
So like if someone wants to swing, you go under their punch, right? You go towards their back and then you knock them in the face, turning towards them. Right? When I'm doing like when I normally do like pad drills, I feel like I would punch into the direction I'm going rather than go in one direction and punch across the other way.
You had really good power. It just felt like, did it feel like for you that just something felt weird, like on the impact? Like it was like turning and getting to the target that felt a little off for me.
It felt like I was stretching the punch. Like I was able to hit it, but it wasn't like a satisfying, like, yeah, I nailed that. Like that guy's knocked out. It was like, well, I made contact with the pad, but I mean, maybe it was the pads. Maybe they were too squishy, or maybe the holders weren't like giving it resistance. Because I wanted to feel like, I don't know, some
pop.
like a pop, some resistance.
Yeah,
you know?
like they hit it the second.
When I
like
hit
they
it, it was just kind of like I would hear it, and then it just kind of flew, and I'm like, am I even hitting it hard, or is it just flying? I don't know.
Yeah, I like it when the holders give a little tap on your hand, like the second you're about to hit.
They go in the opposite direction just so it really hits.
Yeah, that little pop.
Yeah,
it's nice because that's a good way of doing it. A lot of boxers do that too. And the bag work tonight, oh my god, he was like, we're gonna hit it, we're gonna knee strike it, or do a front kick, anything you want. The second it's about to fall, you push it and just start elbowing the crap out of the thing when it's on the ground. I'm like, this is great, but I'm in the corner. I look like I'm in the timeout bag. I'm like in the far corner on the right, like I'm in the trouble station, just beating the crap out of the bag. And Wilkie was nice enough to be like, dude, you're doing really good. Just rotate more. And I was like, yes, sir. And he guided me, and I was like, I needed that. But the other thing was like, here's a shout out to anybody that has taken a break and like eats, different foods, and you try some new things. Please stay in shape. Like, please take care of yourself. I'm not like, if there's health things that like obviously are in your way, there's nothing you could do about that, sure. But like, if you are in a good you're in good condition, don't hurt yourself. Don't destroy yourself by just being lazy, because it catches up over time. You will feel it. Like tonight, I felt it, and I sat there for a second. I'm like, wow, I don't think this has to do with me like being old in a sense. I also feel like that's a part of it, but it's just like your health will quickly decline the older you get, so you have to keep up with it. You have to keep up with your health,
Yes.
So I just felt like tonight was a good wake-up call for me. And don't get me wrong, I work out a lot. It's just, Chosun Oro respectfully can go jump in a ditch.
It's all right. We have this joke, right? So we call it Chosun Oh No.
Yeah.
That's what you say once you do it. You're like, oh no. So we call that one Chilsung oh no. And then the next one's called Chilsung Yukro, but we say Chilsung Yuckro because it's yucky. Because that one's just as long.
Dude, I don't think that was the first time I did Chilsung Oro, or I'm sorry, the second or third time. And I don't think it's any different from the way I've seen it. It's just so long. That was the longest form I have ever done.
I think that one might be the longest form in Tungsu though. If it's not that one, then it's the next Chilsung.
Dude, that kick
I think
was
it's
cool.
that one though. Huh?
That crescent kick where you come up, you bring up your right foot, you crescent kick your right hand, and then you come around. Wait, is it crescent kick with the left, and then you come back to the outside? You go inside, then outside.
Yeah, it's whatever the backhand is first. So you smack it with a crescent, and then you're doing like technically another crescent forward, just the opposite direction. So you're like, you go into like I guess like a double block, but you reach behind someone's head, you reach behind the other person's head, and you smack.
Yeah.
And then once you do that, you land into a forward stance, you reverse punch, and then you come back into a Sako Rip Jase, and then you pivot with your hips, and then you do a double back fist. So you're going smack the face, attack the person in front, smack both of them.
Yeah.
And then you do it again, and then you do it again.
you do it 3 times?
It was 3 times.
Okay, because when there was a third one, I was like, oh God, is there a fourth? Is there a
No,
fourth?
honestly, but when I used to do that in tournaments, by the third one, I was already gassed. And that's only maybe a quarter, maybe a little bit close to halfway of the form. That to me is the peak move that gets me tired. But slowly over time, I think I've accomplished where I could do that. Like, let's just say we didn't do a class and I just did the form. I could do it without breaking a sweat. That was after 2 years of practicing that to do that.
Yeah.
On top of doing cardio, right? So that it took me so long just to get used to it. And I feel like I'm finally ready to move on. But the ironic thing about it is I finally got it good. So
you think you finally got it down now?
Yeah, it's like, I mean, I have the details. I got the stamina now for it, so I could do it harder. But it's like, as you've seen in tournaments, and honestly, for those listening, I'm pretty sure that my video of me doing that form is on Point Fighter Live. So
yes,
if you guys want to check that out, shout out to Point Fighter, because he's a cool dude. I'm pretty sure I'm doing the form on there. So if you see me doing a traditional form, that's the form we're
that's on
referencing.
Facebook.
Yeah, it's on Facebook, Instagram. It should be down there if you see a person.
It was a good form.
I'm on there. So if you guys see it, then you could reference it. But that form, when I did it at the tournaments, I just felt like I'm having a heart attack after. And the only reason why I picked that form is because I have this weird, I don't know. Some people might say, "Hey, you're a masochist," but I'm not.
Oh my God!
It's like, because I love it because I hate it. I hated it so much. I hated the fact that I couldn't do the form strong, and I just tried to survive it. Right, whenever I used to practice it.
Maybe.
And I'm like, you know what? Just to prove it to myself, I'm gonna learn how to do this form right, do it good, last, and compete with it.
That's the thing about. Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You're fine.
I was gonna say that's the mindset. Like, it's just, I'm gonna do this. That's the most powerful tool in like the human survival instinct. It's like, I'm not gonna go down this way. I am stubborn. I think everyone's like a masochist in some way when it comes to that. It's just like they're breaking, but they don't want that. And willpower is such a freaking powerful tool.
It is, and I also saw it as a challenge.
Yeah.
Because at least the other forms around the time that I was learning, they were simpler, they were shorter, and I was like, I could do these really good. And that's the only one that really bothered me, because I was like, I hate the fact that I can't perform this one well. And I was like, you know what? Let me prove it to myself that I could actually do this form great and possibly place with it. Now, I never won first with it, probably because of the fact it's so long, and then most tournaments have a time cap, and I'm missing it by like 3 seconds.
Yeah.
But just the fact that I could do that in places that are out of the state, that are, you know, being videoed and stuff, it was more of a, I don't know. It just helped my confidence.
That's good. That's really good.
Yeah.
Have you ever actually, you talked to me about this the other day. You and me were talking about, and this is another thing I wanted to mention, and this might be the closer because we already have freaking 10 minutes, but I can keep it going for a little bit longer. Dude, tricking, you were upset about that, and I was upset about it too. Do you want to share how you feel about tricking, or do you want me to go off on it first? Tradition and open tournament, what do you want to go first, or I can go first if you'd like?
I think you should go first because I want to know where you're guiding this question.
Okay.
If you're talking about in general or towards Sun, so go ahead.
So I think tricking open forums should be separate. I think there should be 3 separate things. There should be forums, there should be tricking forums, and then there should be open forums. I don't think it's fair for someone to go way back into the traditional way, study all of these different ways of doing a flow and different creative pattern, and it gets stepped on by a guy doing a backflip and then flipping his hair while the staff is in the air. So it's I think tricking should be its own thing. Why would you put somebody with a bow staff that spins it 10 times fast that could fly away versus somebody that's traditionally beautifully moving the staff around in such a unique way, and then you got this Taylor Lautner guy from Shark Boy and Lava Girl going crazy. Actually, I think that's where it almost originated from. Freaking Shark Boy with those types of with his freestyle and how he was fighting. I think Taylor Lautner brought it to the table. But anyway, I think that
you realize he did do XMA, right?
He did, yeah. That's why I think he was a big influence to other people. I think he influenced a lot of people to do it because of Twilight and Love Shark Boy and Lava Girl. But I think it should be separate, dude, because it's not fair. I don't think it's fair, bro.
So this is the way I see it, right? Because you're saying that it should be separate.
Yes.
Now,
really quickly, I also think there should be tricking judges, specialized in tricking judges, or whatever, watching tricking. Go ahead.
Okay. So, most tournaments that I've been to, they have it split into open forums and traditional. Now, open forums, obviously, you could basically, fly if you want.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're physically able to, then go ahead. Do whatever you want, right? Which is cool. You could let your mind, whatever the mind can think of, whatever the body can do, you can do it. I love it.
I'm just thinking about, they go into Chumbi and they do that Kunsan-ku where your hands together and they explode and their hands now they shape like a Y and then they start soaring in the air. They start ascending. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's okay. So there's that part of open forums is basically open, meaning whatever you can do.
Yeah.
Right? Let your mind do what it can.
Exactly.
Traditional is strictly traditional. They want to see hard, fast structure, stances, so on and so forth. The one thing, and I know maybe a couple of tournaments do this, but it's randomized. I think it should be universal for all of them. They have a creative division. Now, like I said, majority of tournaments only have open and traditional, but there's a lot of people that fall into the gray area. Now, personally, a few forms that I perform with, especially with staff, actually falls into the gray area, which is why you see me do chucks, because I could do chucks easier to split it rather than my staff. So there's a limitation with traditional where if you're doing a weapon, for example, right? I'm speaking weapons, not really regular forms.
Yeah.
When it comes to weapons, once you throw a release, meaning you toss it in the air or something of that sort, you let go with both hands and you don't drop it and you catch it, it's considered open.
Okay.
It would have to be considered open because you're not supposed to do a release in traditional forms division, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is, let's just say the form I do has one release couple wrist rolls, couple fancy moves, and that's it. I don't do any tricking in it. Now, if I was to do that in a traditional weapons category, they'd be like, oh, you can't do that because you did a release. So now I get docked on points, or, you get DQ'd.
Mm-hmm.
But then on the other side, it's like, okay, I'll go into the opens form division. But there's no way that form will ever compete against guys who are doing all these flips and tricks. I'm just doing one release. These guys are basically juggling the weapon and using two at one time. It doesn't
literally
compare.
We've seen that. That's wild. Go ahead.
So what's cool about the creative division is, at least from the certain ones that I've read, the rules where they do have this is creative falls in between. So it basically all you need to do to get into creative is you have to do one release of the weapon, and you are able to do jump spinning kicks and jumping kicks. It doesn't necessarily specify that you have to do like gainers or backflips or anything of that sort. You're doing aerial kicks in general. So you could do a flying side kick, you could do a tornado kick, you could do a jump spinning side, a jump spinning axe, and then do a couple releases and you fall under creative.
Yeah.
So it's the middle ground where you're not fully open, but you're not traditional. Now, I would love to compete in that. There's just not many tournaments out there that I've seen. And maybe I live under a rock and maybe I just don't know. But at least for the ones that I've seen in New England, I saw maybe one or two that have a creative division, but all like the major circuits don't have that. And I feel like that should be something that's more integrated, because there's some people that like to fall in between where maybe they weren't trained in doing flips and stuff. Like me, I had to try to teach myself whatever I knew, and I didn't get that far.
Yeah.
But anything when it comes to releasing a weapon or doing some juggling, I could do all that because I did teach that. I was taught that.
Yeah.
So I feel like there should definitely be a creative, because you could create a whole nother realm of different forms in general with that, because you get a nice combination of the strong stances, but you get some openness that comes from learning how to control your weapon and release it and catch it without doing something that's super just super crazy.
I often wonder if it's like if a form is so good because it was created for the tournament that they would actually consider putting it in the Tungsten form list. Because I often wonder, like, if that's possible, where it's like, wow, that actually is something I want to learn. Why can't why not? It was created for forms were created for a specific reason. Might as well give it a name.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like when I created my lightsaber form, one of the masters did it on their own. They recorded it and they did it, and they made a whole cinematic on it. The dude, oh my God, what the heck was his name? I'm gonna look it up. I gotta look up this guy's name. He was, let me look it up. I think his name is Master Rogers. Master Rogers, such a good guy. I think he's Australian, but the dude's kicking is super flexible. He's he has the noodle legs, so he can like do that question mark kick really well, and it's just he knows how to do like multiple kicks in the air. Guy's really good. But
that's really cool.
Yeah, dude is such a very good martial artist, and the fact that like he went out of his way to copy like and practice my form and then made it exciting for him. He put on a whole show. It was so cool. So
that's awesome. That's great.
Yeah, like that's why I want more of that in all of the Tungsten or anything, whether it be Kempo or Kung Fu. Like, create it and show it and see if it can be a form. You can go down in history. That's the other thing. Like, why can't we do that? Is that allowed?
I mean, I've created forms for my federation.
Okay, so you have.
I have for my federation. I know it's not taught under every single Tungsten school, but
yeah.
Like my weapons form that I was referencing that I don't fall under a category was originally the form that I adapted and created. And I've also done like different choreography with what we call stick fighting. So you might have saw a little bit at class where it's basically choreographed fighting between
you mean
two
tonight?
staffs. Yeah, so that there's 5 parts to it. Me and Christian Vasquez created the 4th and 5th for that. and it was taught throughout the federation. So we've done stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it only goes. I mean, it goes far in our federation, but that's I guess it depends. Like we've adapted it because we need more material sometimes.
Yeah, you guys definitely knew more. In my recent training days, there's some people that can only teach you so much, and that's not a bad thing. It's just they taught you all they could, and now it's like, what are you gonna do with it? Are you gonna like expand or just kind of stick with what you know and just stay there? And that's fine. The other thing, like, I was gonna add the thing on tricking. I was watching this video. No, I was watching this performance a long time ago. I was 12, and I watched this black belt, and he was doing the tricking. He dropped the staff, but he still got first place. And
how?
Well, check this out. The second person that went up, it was only two people, but the second person didn't have a staff. He had open hands, but he did a creative form which looked so freaking immaculate. And he may have like stumbled a teeny bit. You clearly saw it, just like the staff drop. But the guy with the staff won. And I was listening over, and I was like, I was only an orange belt, maybe, because like I just came back from karate, and like the way they did it, it was like you're a tiger, and then you're a dragon, and then you get all your belts, and then you start the whole thing over again.
Yeah.
So I'm listening in on the conversation, and he's like, I would have graded you higher, but there was a lot of flashiness in that staff, and the guy and the guy was just like, yes sir, understood. And then he went to like go yell and get upset afterwards, because I saw the heated argument after. Well, not argument, he was just upset. But it's just like, that's what I mean. Like at the end of the day, I'm sitting here and I watch these guys practice their complete ass off. They sweat. And sure, the bow staff guys are just the same, if not maybe a little bit more aggressive, and that takes a lot more speed. But still, at the end of the day, that was some top tier performance. The guy dropped his staff, man. That should be an automatic fail.
Well, maybe that tournament didn't have it, but all the tournaments I've ever been to, including our own, you drop your weapon, you're done.
Yeah. That's how I learned it.
To do it again, like you guys to do it again, but you're not going to get scored. You're basically getting zeros. Because if you're going to take the risk to do something where you might potentially drop your bow, you better catch it.
I've seen,
and if not, then you shouldn't have tried it.
I've seen people where they've goofed, and right before they start, they go, permission to start again. I drew a blank. And they're like, yes, sir. They're like, okay. And then they still get my high score. And I'm like, that's good judging. Like right before it starts, you let the judges know, hold on, I had a little blank. And I feel like, I still think you should, in my opinion, I still think you should judge before, until when the form actually begins, because the form, I know it's all about presentation and representing yourself, but it's just like, some people are nervous. And I know we talked about that like a couple podcasts ago. I just know that like, there should be exceptions. And I think we're a little too traditional on tournaments, and I think there needs to be change where we separate the tricking from the open. We put sensors in the ring. We have replays. We can't just keep relying on these manual eyes, because they drift off into another world focusing on other things. I've seen it firsthand. Some of these judges don't even pay attention. And I think with recording, you can actually go back and look at the footage to determine if the kick went on. Like, this isn't some game where it's like, oh, well, I guess he kind of got kicked. No, if he got kicked, he got kicked.
Well, the thing about that, though, is it's going to make the matches last longer.
Yeah, I know. It usually does.
Like, between points, you might as well do, like how like boxers have the rounds where they give them like 30 seconds or whatever.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They should do that too, but they don't want to do that. They put the person wins, and then the next person comes out and they go, all right, give him a minute. All right, you ready? And I'm like, no, don't do that. Like, get a whole reset. Let the guy rest. He fights, whatever. It just, I know it depends on the situation, but it's like, bro, the guy is winded. Let him. And they're like, no, we gotta go. I'm like, that just screws everybody up because 14 guys, and then that dude keeps climbing up the ranks. He's sweating by the time he gets to the last guy, and that last guy probably didn't even fight as much.
That's why I remember when I used to spar in tournaments, sometimes I was just happy to be out if I had to get outed. Like if I was to do like 3 or 4 fights, and I'm like, you know what? At this point, just take it. Like I'm so dead, just take the points.
I was gonna say, have you ever you've done that before, where it's like you're at a position where it's like, I'm just gonna let this guy have it. This is crazy. Like you crash out.
There's a certain point where I'm happy, like
that you like, got
okay,
hit.
I'm done. It's like I'm tired. Like let's just see what happens. Like sometimes you get lucky, and it's like, oh wow, I still won. Like sometimes you still get like a win out of it, and you're like, oh wow,
I survived.
I didn't want to.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, and then it's like, oh, you're sparring again. It's like, please let me sit down.
Yeah.
I just want to take a rest.
I know. Sometimes it's like your body is ready to crash out. And that's the hard part. It's like, are you willing to drop dead for this win? Or are you like going to take the L and be like, damn, I really hit my limit? Because it's all cardio game at that.
Yeah, but that's all the willpower too. Like that's what makes you the winner in the end.
The willpower.
And it's just, keep in mind too, it's not just the cardio, it's the adrenaline.
Yeah, I know. Like you're thinking and paranoia.
Your adrenaline's gonna fatigue you so quick, right? Because, for example, I could do cardio for an hour. I could do cardio for a half an hour straight, and it's like, wow, but why can't you last a half an hour worth of straight rounds? It's like it's just totally different.
It just feels different, yeah.
Yeah, you as we talked before, karate is full body, right? So it's not like, oh, I'm doing cardio, but I'm focusing on my legs. That's what's going to get me warm. Or I'm doing cardio, but it's all upper body. It's like, no, you're doing every part of your body. It's clenching and loosening. And then on top of that, you're moving, you have adrenaline pumping, and you might have something that's going to hit you.
Yeah.
So put all that together and then tell me you could last a half an hour straight without stopping. Like, really? Like, maybe there is a person out there.
Yeah.
God bless you. Please give me your training regimen. I want to know how you do it. But at least from what I know, like we're human. We need to breathe.
Yeah,
sometimes.
I know. That's the whole thing. Like, I know everybody can get overwhelmed, and especially with me and ADHD, it can. And this is like somebody that's coming from not being medicated for a couple of years, and anybody that is like struggling with like the willpower, like the second you feel like you can't do it, go a little farther. Think of it like this. Like this is the best way I can explain it. And I'm sorry if I have to go all geek mode, but think of it like a video game, like an MMORPG. Like, okay, level 59. I'm level 60, but oh my God, this XP takes forever because the higher you rank up, the longer things take to get the next rank, right? Same thing with like forms in karate. The longer it takes. So you get all this XP, you're working, and guess what? You're getting better, you're getting more XP, you're gaining, you're practicing the repetition, and guess what? Before you realize it, you're like thinking, oh my God, that level 60 is taking forever. What the heck? Now you're on level 65 and you're already like, you know what I mean? Like, cause it's that willpower, it's that drive. It's like, I'm already there, I'm so close, look how far I already got. Even if it's like 1 XP, 1 step out of the 1,000, bro, do you want to go back? You just took that step. We can keep going.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's always a time to stop and rest. Realistically, stop and rest, healthy. But in my experience, you're right there. Right? This is a perfect opportunity to sit, focus on what you think you can achieve. If something's too hard, just take a deep breath and drink a load of water and just try to get through it as best as you can. Because once you start doing it, that cancels out I'm not going to do good. And if you think about that while you're doing that, guess what? You're going to have a fixed mindset and be like, well, I guess I suck. That's just it's a growth mindset and a fixed mindset. Like I said, if I tell you I'm going to have a bad day, guess what? I'm going to have a bad day.
Bad day.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If I say I'm going to have a good day and things may not get, but here's the thing. I'm going to have a good day. Oh, my coffee was made wrong. But did I know that was going to happen on the time that I said I'm going to have a good day? I'm still going to have a good day. Make it the best bad cup of coffee you had in your life or whatever.
Yep.
Just that's the hard thing, is the willpower. Are you able to push through that? Are you able to push? So willpower, tricking. Karate was completely sweaty tonight, and I had an eye-opening experience realizing that like even I need to step up my game sometimes. And I'm getting old, man. We're pushing 30, so it's just we got to step up. And I know 30 isn't like the crazy number. I mean, in 10 years from now, we're going to be saying we're 40.
Well, I realize that late 20s are considered prime.
Yeah, they say like the late 20s is the prime, but they say like,
I mean, like, look at all the fighters now. You notice there's no one that's like under 25.
oh, I know.
Everyone's like 27, 28.
Yeah, and they're like rock solid, beefy guys. It's crazy. Like,
So like right now, this is our time to peak. So I've been going like serious when it comes to like training and stuff, because I'm like, I want to know what it feels like just once.
yeah.
I could go downhill. I mean, obviously not downhill, but like,
you want to know what the fuss
you
is all
know,
about, the age and everything. I want to know.
I'm gonna slowly not be as fast, not as strong. You know, that's just gonna come with age. But like, let me know what it feels like to get to that peak, just so I know what it was.
yeah,
And then it's
exactly.
like, all right, I did it, been there, done that. I reached my top.
Yeah,
Now I could just maintain it or do whatever I can.
because at the end of the day, you made it, and then you could just kind of just retire after that. It's like, you know what?
Yeah.
I made it. I did it. I'm still pretty fast. May not as fast as I used to be, but you know what? I'm 60 something years old, and I could still pop you if I want to.
Honestly, what I would love to do is
Be like Superfoot
obviously
Wallace.
I'm trying to well, that would be great. But like, I still want to do karate and stuff and compete in karate tournaments, because those they keep competing until like whenever, really. But I realized with the older ages, it's a bigger thing to do jiu-jitsu tournaments.
Oh, interesting.
I was thinking about maybe as I get older, slowly integrating more jiu-jitsu practice and going to a school to learn more of that.
That'd be cool.
Because there's still people competing in their 70s. Like,
Yeah, they have good control.
Master Wilkie got asked to compete
Really?
in jiu-jitsu. So just think of it like that. Like, we could be doing that until we die.
Watch Master Wilkie
Why?
like pull off a flying armbar. He's like, I
Well, because
can't
if
do
you
it in my
think about it,
70s, but he does it.
Well, it's still cardio, but it's not like there's no striking.
Yeah.
So you're not going to get hurt by a punch that's going to break a rib or something like that. It's throws, it's going till you tap, it's choking out, but it's not, like I said, the striking is what kills you, because your bones get weak as you get old.
Yeah, I know.
But as long as you stay flexible and you have some muscle mass, you could still roll and do randori and all these other jiu-jitsu things. It's just going to be slower, but you as long as you're matched up with someone around your age and skill level, it's still an even fight. So I would like to get into that as I get older.
Yeah.
And continue my martial arts. And I'm still going to do karate too, of course. I'll probably do that until I die too, but I want to mix it up and see where I could peak at all these different ones while I can.
Yeah. I think it's all about just exploring and just finding out what works for you. And that's a good thing. That's like a good feeling. So
It is.
is there
For sure.
anything else you wanted to bring up? Because I did say, 30 minutes. And now it's like 40 something.
Oh, so how are we going to split this?
It doesn't matter. I think we could just keep it going. I think we could just keep it like this, because we can end it right here, because we did talk.
That's close enough.
Yeah, it's like whatever. Like we're on the line, kind of. Not really.
I'm sure the listeners want my extra second or so. Bless you. If that's you.
Oh my gosh. Well, there you have it. Live or not live, but whatever.
But yeah, so I don't know. I guess in closing, speaking to the listeners, because
Yes.
there's nothing really to view. Please continue to reach out. If there's anyone that wants to be on the show or be a part of our podcast, because as you might have heard right now, we are doing this through Discord, so we can easily add people through Discord into our podcast. So if anyone's interested in doing it like that and wants to be on the show, please hit us up. Both of our Instagrams have been viewed or advertised on our Let's Talk. You can either contact me or you can contact David here.
Hello.
Also, please, if you guys are interested in the merch,
Yes.
Please feel free to purchase that. And also, if you do get it, show us that you got it. Send us some pictures.
Yeah, do that.
Do a little photo
show
shoot
it off.
of like.
We'll put it in the
show
podcast
it
on
off.
video too.
We want to see that you guys like this stuff. So, we want you guys to engage with us as much as possible. We love to hear from you guys and all of our listeners. We like to know that you guys like what we're doing. So if there's something that you want us to change, as in like the length of our podcast or anything that we would that you would like to hear us talk about specifically, rather than just us babbling, because sometimes it's fun to just do that, and it happens. So if you want us to be a little bit more focused on certain topics, please just let us know, and don't feel afraid to reach out, because we're really nice guys and we just want to hear from you.
Yeah, we're really nice guys.
We're definitely really, really, really nice guys. So we definitely have to point that out.
Oh man, I love that.
But yeah, I guess that's all I have to say on that. I just want all of our viewers to engage, so we want to hear from you guys.
Awesome. So I think this was a pretty good podcast. We'll talk soon. We'll see you guys soon in the next one. Javon said it all, man. Check out the merch, follow us, and just let us know what you think could be done in the next podcast. And we got you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming in on episode 10, and we will see you guys in possibly, maybe 10 episodes is a full season. So maybe we'll see what happens. We can either add a season 2, episode 1, or we can drop in episode 11, but we'll see. We'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you so much. Bye, guys.
Yep. Have a good day, guys.